I'm going right to it, and CB and E, y'all got to back me up on this. But when Jeff was on the sideline at Creston, he was so turned up, bro.
Jeff was the eyes, he was the ears, he was everything.
He was everything,
I remember him pointing out, Serge, he got cramps.
Hey, bro, Jeff. So I played corner, and so
at our rival high school.
Yeah. So they was our rival. I went to Ottawa. They all went to Creston, but they're my best friends, and so we really grew up together and played together. So my transfer didn't go through, and I'll dive into that another time. But long story short, playing corner, you're on an island. But I'm next to Jeff. I'm next to Jeff. I'm next to Jeff, and he talking so crazy.
Go at 21. Go at him. Chris is looking to the sideline.
He used to have the game so lit, man. He was so turned up. I had to kick us off with that in case Jeff didn't know how much of a nuisance he was on the sideline.
I remember that, bro. That was our senior year when Serge got the cramp. He ran down the sideline to Sparky. He's got number one's got cramp. We ran fade 3 times in a row.
Jeff was a scout before scouting was what it is today. Jeff was all ears. He was a guy in the booth seeing stuff on the field, but he was right there on the sideline in the mix of everything, man. But Jeff, man, I just want to tell you, your energy from a competitive standpoint, from an elite athlete standpoint, you used to have us, even as an opponent, like, man, I gotta shut this guy up on the sideline. But it all in fun and good health. It was a blast, man, to have you yelling and talking your talk.
Yeah, it was just as fun for me, man. It was kind of easy because, you got me fresh out of school.
Yeah. So you
played at Ferris like CB over there. So I was already in my blood. It wasn't out yet. Right? I still had more left in the tank.
There you go.
Yeah, man. How was it for you being able to be on the sidelines and coach these guys and then see not only where they started, where the program started, what Sparky was able to do, then just to see the rise and the success they end up having?
I was just rapping with E a little bit on it, and it was just a special time in my life. It was, and to be honest with you, one of my proudest moments.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because to work with young kids and to watch them develop, and not only that, to look back and see the success that came out of that team, and the friendships. I mean, lifelong friendships with guys that weren't too much younger than me.
There you go.
I'm an old guy, but, but I mean, and these guys, we worked together in the off season. They helped me out in our restaurants, and got to know their families really well. So it was to see the success.
It was deeper than sports.
It was, and that's why I brought it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw kids that had opportunity. And they just needed some people to guide them with that opportunity. And whether it was on the field or in life, every day when we were practicing, when we were working out, there were lessons to be made that I think would, carry on in life. And when you teach it, it's one thing, but to see them deliver it and to see what they're doing, what you guys are doing today, it's a proud thing that, and we were talking about, man, they should do a documentary on on that. Because, I mean, to see, CB have some NFL opportunities and 5 guys on that team to go to that next level. And I think, 9 that went on to play, some competitive college football.
Yep.
You don't see that often. And
very rare.
And not in this state to have that much success off of, and on top of it, an inner city school.
Yeah.
That was transformed
Yep.
overnight.
Yep.
It was
Exactly.
when Sparky came to me and said, hey, man, I need your help.
How did that happen?
We've won like 2 games in the last 10, the last few years. And he's like, we need to bring some winning teams. Well, he came in. I was working at our bar, and I was just, grinding, working 80-hour weeks. And he came in. He's like, man, would you have any interest in coaching? I'm like, I'd love to if I could ever get out of here. So he's like, I just need 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week.
Sold it.
And I said, if that's not including game time, then I'm in. And so he worked his practice schedule to where, 2 days a week. And then it turned into where I loved it so much that I was like, looking at some of my managers say, cover for me. I need to be there. I need to be there, man, because we were having so much fun.
Yeah.
I know everybody might not know, but Jeff gave me and CB a job at B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings, and part of that was, one, we needed to gain some weight. We couldn't wait to work there. Two, we got a chance to see you work beyond the field. You, all the lessons you guys were teaching us on the field, but to see you work the 80-hour weeks, to see you bartend and be in the kitchen and front of the house, back of the house, do everything was kind of, we had to continue that as well and tie our work life. So,
Jeff, that was the thing. It major kudos, son. We're gonna dive into that, but that was the thing for me. Like we come from the struggle, we come from the trenches, and you provided opportunity. And I tell the story to this day, so people see the end result of where we're at today. But I say my best friend Eric been working and had a work history longer than all of us. But you helped plant that seed. You saw work ethic as an athlete. He was a good worker within the restaurant. And then, boom, he's been able to carry that now to be able to provide for his family. Same opportunities you gave to CB. So outside looking in, I'm looking like not only is he cool as hell, but that's dope as hell. He's providing opportunity for guys to make money, to guys to help their families out. You know what I'm saying? We come from households, man, that sometimes we ain't making ends meet. They need that little money that they're bringing in to get that bill paid. And so although we get celebrated on Saturday nights or Friday nights, it was more meaningful than you may have even known. And I always saluted you for that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, you know, I wasn't brought up given things, and I credit that to the way I was raised by my dad and my grandparents that were hard workers, and it wasn't all given. And I think that that's a missing ingredient today.
Yes, it is.
Is work ethic.
Yes, it is.
You know, in our business, I tell often our managers and I tell people that I interview is I could take a 10th grader out of a local high school and teach them the initiatives that we do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
But what I can't teach them is, do you have the ability to captivate 30, 40 team members and get them to deliver for you?
Yeah.
And I think that's the missing ingredient. And, you know, I learned through great coaches. I learned through people in our business. I learned through first day cashiers. I learned from heart of the house team members, the cooks of ours, you know, when I walk into our establishments. And it's, I just try to keep an open eye on where I can learn.
Yeah. I love that, man. You've been a blessing more than you know. I'm going to dive into some of that. But looking at your portfolio of restaurants, walk us through BW3s and then how everything else kind of manifested or was birthed from that. What even got you into food? You are an athlete, man. You are an entrepreneur. You're so many things. Like I said, a man of many hats. But what got you in that realm? What got you going down that path?
Well, it goes back to my dad and my mom. It was something where when there was off time, if it wasn't sports, you were working, and it was go get a job. So it was at a young age working in restaurants and working in dish pits and working online and learning a little bit about the business and how it operates. But I wasn't really paying close attention as a kid. And how it all started was my dad and a really good buddy of mine. I was actually a hockey player before a football player. And our dads would travel on tournaments all the time. And they would hang out at sports bars in between games. And I always heard him say, man, someday we should open up our own sports bar.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was fortunate enough to have a business that did well. And my brother was playing football in Sweden after his career at Ferris State, and his career was coming to an end. And my dad said, hey, look, I got this opportunity to open up a franchise. He's like, but I don't want to really be in the day-to-day stuff. That's for you.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Jeff.
Yeah. So I was a senior getting ready to go play football at Ferris. I'm like, Dad, you think I have time to open up a bar, you know? And my brother's like, I'll do it. And so in the off season, we got together, and I would work. I'd come down on my off days, and that's kind of how it started.
Okay.
And then we just, when I graduated, the family partner of ours, the Ward family. We kind of all sat down and said, we got something special here. Let's try to move this needle a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it started.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we opened up our first location in '94 at Central Michigan, Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
And we didn't know what we were doing, but we just learned through the trials and errors. I
There you go.
mean, we just
Let's tell Jeff about our Detroit boys. Detroit didn't have a BW3s.
Yeah.
So
I went the JUCO route, so this is how we met all these guys from Detroit.
yeah,
There's
so
no JUCO inside. It's the only JUCO place is Michigan, and it's here in Grand Rapids. None in Indiana, none in Ohio, and nowhere else in Michigan.
So all the talent that didn't go Central Michigan, Ferris, Michigan State, they came to JUCO.
Yeah.
So he had a son. He came back from Ferris. See, he had JUCO, still pursuing his dreams. So we met all these Detroit guys.
Yeah, bring them to be done.
Jeff. We brought him all the But Jeff, if you ever need some reviews,
Yeah, these is the guys.
go call on Detroit.
hey, we can use it. We can
Man,
use it.
they
Give me their numbers,
they
man.
love B-Dubs,
Yep,
and they
the
talk
wings, the atmosphere,
everything.
Yeah.
Was you working there or y'all?
No, I wasn't working there at the time because I was actually doing the football stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took them up there like on a Tuesday. It was still 50-cent wings at that time.
Yeah.
They were going crazy.
Probably 25 cents.
Might have been
Yeah,
25
25.
cents. Yep.
Damn.